Welcome to MeDeMAP, Mapping Media for Future Democracies. Join us on a journey across Europe. Meet specialists and researchers from various fields, unravel the democratic functions of media, and discuss its impact on the essence of democracy. MeDeMAP.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tatiana Chirvikova, and this is MeDeMAP podcast. And today I'm here with two great representatives of French team from IMT Atlantique, and I let them present themselves. So welcome.
Thank you, Tatiana. My name is Lyubareva. I'm professor of digital economy at IMT Atlantique. IMT is a technological university whose ambition, main purpose is to support the current technological, social, and economic transitions by training responsible students and conducting interdisciplinary research programs as the MeDeMAP project.
Hello, Tatiana. My name is Morgane Le Guyader, and I'm a postdoctoral researcher in social sciences. And I had the honor to join the IMT Atlantique 1 year ago to especially work on this MeDeMAP project. And within our French team, I am responsible for conducting qualitative studies based on semi-structured interviews with media regulatory authorities, institutions, media professionals, and citizens.
Thank you very much. We would like to do this podcast more country-based, so our viewers would get accustomed with the French context broader. Would you mind to tell us more about French media specificity and some broader context?
Yes, of course, with pleasure. Just imagine in France, we count for more than 5,000 press outlets and radio stations, hundreds of TV channels and dozens of pure players. And it's a huge challenge, also an opportunity and a responsibility for us to work on this diverse and extremely rich media landscape.
And this responsibility and challenge are all the greater as since May 2024, French context is characterized by important political tensions, which have escalated with the victory of the far-right party in the European elections and the subsequent dissolution of the National Assembly. At the same time, proposed reform to public broadcasting have sparked significant concerns among media professionals and the public journalism sector especially.
So talking about reforms, like digital platform regulation, it actually varies from European country to European country, and that always quite complicated task for each country. What do you think? What are the main challenges in regulating digital platforms today in France?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. So it's worth noting that France has long been at the forefront of regulating digital spaces, social networks, and digital media, digital platforms, with laws like, I'm thinking about laws like the Loi Avia targeting hate speech, for instance, or the Loi contre la manipulation de l'information, targeting fake news, and particularly during the election periods. The country is also extremely active in following European regulations, such as Digital Service Act, for example. The regulation of this media and their role in and for democracies remain, however, a very debated topic, issue, balancing on the one hand the freedom of expression and on the other hand defined against fake news, against hate speech, and all other problematic content. So I think it's important to mention that, to take into account that the concerns persist over the responsibility and accountability of the platforms. When I'm saying platforms, I'm talking about platforms like Meta or X in their activities of content moderation, in their transparency of their algorithms, for instance, and in preventing, of course, foreign information campaigns.
To complete what Ina just specified, well, on the one hand, social media has become definitely a powerful tool for political mobilization, exemplified by movements, social movements like Gilets jaunes, Yellow Vests. But on the other side, it also risks reinforcing polarization, and digital platforms in this sense have expanded access to information and enriched democratic debate, but they also contribute to media fragmentation and increasing division of audiences across different media platforms. Seen in the rise of online opinion driven and partisan outlets. Yeah.
Yes, and maybe if I just could add some elements in conclusion. To move forward, France is very likely to push for stricter control over these digital spaces, while also emphasizing the role of media literacy and civic education to be sure that population has this can critically assess actually online information. So the key challenge, as I said before, remains finding the right balance between state regulation, between platform self-regulation, and between, of course, democratic freedoms.
Morgane, you mentioned the impact of digital technologies on democratic movements, on democracy in France. Could you please elaborate more what is the role of digital and social media in dissemination of democracy in France?
Yeah, thank you for your question. It's a crucial point and aspect of this research. Well, to start with, social media and digital media play a complex role in the dissemination of democracy, as revealed by our conversations with different actors. So to remind citizens from one side and then media professionals from the other, while both media professionals and citizens actually recognize the significance of digital media and social media, their perspectives diverge. From the media's perspective, social media is often seen as a challenge to professional journalism, reinforcing the need to distinguish between content produced by trained journalists and other sources that are not from journalists. And all media point the digital format as a tool which they must better adapt to. They all say that they have to adapt to, but with the same standards and deontological norms as traditional media formats. And overall, journalists and media managers strongly advocate for clearer and maybe stronger regulation. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, for the citizen side, for sure, social media and digital platforms are considered today as being an integral part of the information consumption. And many of the interviewed representatives of the public were saying about the blurring lines between traditional media and these digital spaces, because all the traditional media today, I mean, maybe not all of them, but an important amount of them are present on social media. And so in respect to these blurring lines between these different categories of media, respondents have different reactions, because some of them, I mean, many of them, they put forward the very important, the major role of these digital spaces for democratic participation. They put forward this rich accessibility to the very important amount of information. And at the same time, they put forward, they underline that the functioning of these digital spaces is also presented as a source of fatigue. And often also during the interviews, the question of the influence of the algorithms, for instance, was also put in light. Okay, so to summarize, it's worth noting that one of the major results concerning the digital media and digital platforms points out that these digital spaces contribute a lot to the current crisis of trust in information in the media.
And to complete, I would say that social media have the particularity to reshape right now an old question, which is the question of the right to communication, underlining the need for stronger media literacy initiatives.
The French team conducted a lot of data from French citizens, because you've done interviews and focus groups in one of the work packages that you participate, and talking about trust actually as an important problem. It seems to be an important problem nowadays. How do you think in this stage of the research, how do French citizens perceive the role of media in democracy? And more specifically, do French people think that they are well represented in and informed by traditional media and digital media as well?
Well, thanks for this pertinent question again. The project is not ended yet, but our first results reveal indeed a deep-seated crisis of representation among citizens, as they feel disconnected from both media and political institutions, which they perceive as unresponsive to public concerns and expectations, citizens' expectations. This distrust is intensified by the spread of fake news, particularly on online networks, as we were talking about earlier, and by perceived biases as well, for instance, in traditional French opinion journalism. On the public side, we observe growing calls for more neutral, transparent, and positive journalism as well, which is an important aspect revealed by the interviews. At the same time, if we take a look at the production side, we see that media and journalists emphasize the crucial role of opinion journalism today, as well as their immense responsibility to provide the public with the most honest and accurate information. That's why real journalism cannot ignore difficult realities. Truthful reporting necessitates addressing war and its and exposing its horrors, no matter how unsettling they may be. So this is a kind of conflict in understanding what the information should be. It's a conflict with citizens' expectations and representations. in an era of widespread disinformation and growing polarization, in particular because of digital and social media, producing honest information is essential to maintaining journalistic integrity and ensuring an informed public. Yeah.
Thank you, Morgane, for this detailed feedback. To complete several elements, I would like just to say that by bringing together these two perspectives from the citizen side and media and journalists, our study could put in light very sharp divergences in respect of the expectations, for instance, regarding news content and information in general, and a general lack of awareness at the citizen side about the existent constraints actually under which journalism operates today. So good news is that we also found out a strong, a very shared desire of both media producers, information producers, and citizens to have more dialogue, to have more interaction between them. And I think that it's important, one of the important conclusions we could put forward is that this research underscores an urgent need to develop, to think about more collaborative journalism models to bridge this gap between information institutions and society.
And yeah, it seems really hard problem because of this huge gap between, it seems to be visible huge gap between audience and journalism. And I hope, yes, that all this project will try to make these two parts closer. And thank you for your work. Thank you for being with us with MeDeMAP podcast here today. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.